Greetings. Guten Tag. Talafalava. That's correct. Oh, this is Dr. Snowbrand. What am I about to preach about? Well, get ready because I'm about to scream and yell. At the people in this country called fuck all Aotearoa New Zealand. Bullshit. More like junkyard. Get ready, I'm about to scream. That's correct. I don't need to say it any other way. It's because New Zealand deserves what they get via my preachings. That's correct. Even though, what? That's correct. Let me just put it bluntly to you all. You know, I go out of my way, to try and create an extra income, livelihood for myself. I have my own ideas. I own my plane, but even that was stolen and abused and misused by your people and the rest of the so-called thieves in this country. That's correct. And then I try to establish my own, so you can see, a unique, a unique intellectual property, first time ever on Facebook. And what happens? They come in and they take offense, and then they want to dictate to you, and then the next thing you know, they want to teach you a lesson. And I say the wrong thing inside my face, and now I've established a YouTube channel. My God, all was very well. Until again, today, or was it yesterday, last night? I say something about New Zealand, that's great. Cyclone Gabriel, and you fucking take offense? Are you fucking serious? I've been fucking preaching the fuck out of you, and even to all of you, in the last fucking 5 years. And you want to still show me that attitude. That's correct. My God. So tell me, is this why these people are living inside this address? So that every time, I say the wrong thing, which might be your treaty partnership or your treaty document or something about your local, people, that's great, whether it be the Maoris, I don't even want to say them, or anybody else, or even the elites. Then you get these people to what? That are inside this address, to fire bullets at me or missiles or to dictate to me inside my own digital devices that I paid money for, that I own my cell phone. Nobody, the government of New Zealand doesn't own my cell phone. That's correct. And Mrs., I say something about who? And you take offense. So now you feel justified that you can dictate to me again through these assholes inside this address? Because you couldn't handle? And yet, oh my God, so you're expecting me to be able to handle your shit that you've been fucking handing and dumping it onto me. And you can't fucking handle what I just preached about. Oh my God, New Zealand, get with it. Get it together. That's correct. I'll be very frank with you all right now. At this age, at 50 plus years old, and the fact that, I live independently, nobody picks up after me. Nobody. Nobody cleans for me, nobody cooks for me, and nobody wipes my ass. Okay? Amen. But you people, oh my God, they couldn't live in the income that I'm on, that's correct. Except they're going to make it tougher for you. They're going to make things really hard for you, that's correct. And when they can see that I can cope, despite all the pressure and the stress and whatnot, and despite your arbitrary dictatings, that you got no right to. That's correct. Especially your people inside this address. I don't know know where the fuck do you people come from. That's correct. To think that you got the fucking nerve to dictate to me I'm a noble. But of course, fuck all, you don't give a fuck. And you don't care about that status of mine. Well, neither do I. I don't give a damn about what you think. Or whether you take offense to my preaching. I never told any of you, by the way, in this country, to ever enter my YouTube channel. Let alone my so-called Facebook. That's correct. You come in there, you can't handle, that's too bad. It ain't my problem. That's your problem. That's correct, but you don't dictate to my Facebook. You don't dare ever dictate to my YouTube channel. I don't ever tell you people how to run your lives. That's correct. I do what I do because that's who I am. But I'll be very frank with you right now. Your so-called stupid treaty partnership and treaty bullshit, that's correct. Your racist apartheid treaty, apartheid partnership, whatever you call it, I've had it up to here. That's correct. These people should never have lived inside this address. The government of New Zealand is to blame, like the ministers, that's correct, for putting people like these sort of people inside this address next to a noble like you. That's correct. Because now what? Well, we're at war. But nobody told them to pick on you. Nobody told them to dictate. Nobody told them to apply their criminal protocols or whatever protocol. Nobody. Fuck, nobody told you to do it. So why the fuck do you need to do it? Are you doing it on behalf of Mrs. Sepuloni Kamel that doesn't give a damn about any of you? That's correct. Are you doing it on behalf of so-called, Mr. Anthony Short? Even he doesn't give a damn about any of these so-called assholes inside this building. That's correct. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the local, but these people inside this building, you should be living among your own kind, among their own people, there in the local Maoris, whichever tribe or hapu iwi you come from, or that you're part of. In fact, it's a good thing they don't live in America, because the indigenous people of this country, or the Aborigines people, they call the Maoris or the Tangata Whenua, they would be told by the white man, they're in America to go and live on the reservations. That's correct. Instead of being a pain in the butt and a headache to non-Maoris like myself or nobles like myself, they should be living on their land reservations. Where are they? Well, the local marae, that is their reservation, and any other, that's correct. But you people think the problem is they think they own everybody else in this country. Problem is, if you go to America, irrespective of the fact that, the American Indians were the first occupants, first occupied to discover America. They don't run America. They can't tell the white man, that's correct, what to do, where to move to, and where to live. But you people in this country, you ought to learn the lesson the hard way. You need to do the same. If you are an Aborigine, and if you are very similar to the American Indians culture, you should be living off your own reservations. The lands that the government of New Zealand and the Crown gives you to go and live on. That's correct. And develop it and do something with it. But you don't need to live inside this address. That's correct. So that you think you can dictate to a noble. Oh my God, I've got criminals and bunks and commoners dictating to my privileges. That's correct. That they don't even own. You got the nerve. You would be dead if you were in America. But they'd have you shipped out and shipped on to the reservations. That's correct. Can you imagine the arrogance of the so-called, that's great, these Aborigines, these indigenous who live in this country? The white man in America will tell you, you see that property there, that house, that land that I paid for? Freehold? Bought with my own money? You see that truck? I own that truck. It's under my name, legally, titles. It's under a good title. So the white man's going to say to the so-called American Indians, I'm sorry, but you are in the wrong territory. And you are in the wrong place. That's correct. You should be going onto your reservations. What are you doing entering and trespassing onto my property? That's correct. And why do you need to enter my flat or my property when you are an American Indian? That's correct. When you should be 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, you belong somewhere else. What are you doing? Yeah, driving all the way down here. I can have the sheriff, local sheriff or whatever, yeah, take you back. They should do the same thing to every stupid Maoris in this fucking country, arrogant, racist country. Take you back to the reservations. That's correct. Your people need to learn. That's correct. The hard way. You need to earn your stuff the right way. And you need to go the long way as well. That's correct. But you also need to stop dictating, thinking you can dictate to other people's privileges that you got no right to. Under your treaty, the only people that your people, 800,000 of you, should be dictating to and you know, addressing your so-called, applying your so-called indigenous protocols, Aborigine protocols, is the people that are on the Maori electoral roll, or are part of those iwis and hapus or maraes. Does that sound right? The problem is they have, oh my God, the white man, that's great, is giving you a new job, which is to be a criminal so that you can dictate and harm other non-Maoris and other citizens in this country. I don't know. What the hell is that? I don't give a fuck about what your partnership is about. That's great. Nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. My kingdom has nothing to do with your people. Your people don't own my kingdom. That's correct. Anything I produce has nothing to do with your treaty, partnership, or treaty, whatever. Nothing. You never spent not 1 cent to anything that I have been using to produce my own stuff. That's correct. Your people are to learn, don't use other people's so-called treasures, whether it be their special logos, their special titles, or anything that is sacred but unique and special. And especially if you're a commoner and a ratbag and a punk, you got no right to speak as well to people like myself. That's correct. Let alone target people like myself. You have no rights whatsoever. You should be directing, your so-called whatever protocols, treaty protocols, and your people's protocols to your own people, but on your land reservations. It is so embarrassing and so humiliating. That's great. Not for me, but for them to have to tell them where to go to and what to do and what's your boundaries. That's correct. You're overstepping our boundaries. You don't steal from people like me and assume, and because the Bakia has given you some sort of privilege, or even because he's fucked the shit out of you and told you some lie. That's correct. To what? You take advantage of us. Like I said, if we own something legally, under a good title, then you need to learn to go and get your own property. That's correct. You need to go and create something that is uniquely yours, but don't use other people's brains and other people's ideas. What? To give you, that's right, an identity or an idea to spring off. That's correct. That lawyer in Oriental Bay, he doesn't own any of my property. My intellectual property, that's correct. And I've got nothing to do with your people. That's great. I'm independent. I stand alone. Well, I think it's obvious that you haven't contributed any funds whatsoever, not one single donation. So that's very clear that you don't have anything to do with me. And I don't have anything to do with your people. But I got to ask the question, what are they doing? Why are they living inside this building? This address, and why are there so many, especially the red ones? So many of them. I think they're only here for the benefit, not only to take advantage of their treaty partnership, their treaty protocols, but also for the benefit of being spies on behalf of the government of New Zealand. Does that sound about right? Where if you want to, that's right. If you want to teach anybody, well, let's teach me a lesson on behalf of any of the ministers of the Crown, despite I have actually basically served, trespass notices. It's about 4 or 5 of those ministers. And look at the arrogance. And look at the arrogance of these son of a bitches inside this address. That's correct. They got the nerve to think they can overstep my authority and still dictate to you on your own YouTube channel to get back. For what I said, that's correct. I don't know what you call this, but I'm not having it. You want all-out war? Well, you have. You just sealed it. I'm telling you, people, you don't belong inside this address. You need to go and live among your land reservations. Your sacred Maoris, your sacred treasures, where they are supposed to be. You don't need to live here. And you don't need to be nosy and be a spy and be a disgusting, despicable, bullshit trespasser inside my flat. That's correct. You don't need any of that stuff. That's correct. If you want to be a pain in the ass and a pain in the butt, you should do it to your people. On your land reservations, on your local Maoris, inside your hapus and iwis, go there. All right? Because that's what the white man in America would teach you. He'd drag your brown ass and your black ass out from wherever you were, and it is here, right, take them back to the reservations. That's great. Because if they don't, well, look what's going to happen. That's great. Well, look at what's happening. That's correct. Taking advantage of people, stealing from people. Behaving like bullies where they think they can just push their weight around. That's correct. And yet, all the while, they are such despicable, spiteful son of a bitches. And the only thing they're good at is stealing and creating mischief and whatnot. They don't sow anything that is good. And that's great. I couldn't care less about the ministers because I'd already warned the government of New Zealand so many times. But this one, what I'm saying right now, I'm telling you, people of Aotearoa, you don't own this country. Right. How do I know that? Well, you became citizens of England, of the backyard of England. That's correct. So under the so-called, your treaty document, I only recognize you as being the citizen of this country. Nothing less, nothing more. That's correct. Despite you were the first occupants of these lands, that's correct. I'm going to give you the same treatment like the American Indians. Like in America. You don't own these lands, and what is under the treaty, what is rightfully yours, right? You need to put your energy there. You need to put your, you need to focus your people there. Push your people that way. That's great. You need to go on your land reservations. That's where your people should be at. That's great. No, not here, this sort of address. Because we're going to end up having war if they're all, if the only thing they're here for is to dictate to you, that's great, and torture, teach you lessons, and torture you and teach you their garbages, and give you baggages, that's great. If that's all they're good at, man, you should be doing it to your own people on your land reservations, on your Maori reservations. Right? I'm justified in saying what I say because, hey, their people, and I'm talking about the Maori King, has never had to live next to a bunch of pain in the butt and headaches. That's great. And I mean real headaches. That's great. So he's got nothing to say because he doesn't understand because he knows very well what his people are like. It's great. And I've had a guts full of it. And nobody needs to have sex with people like that. Hell no. You gotta be you either gotta be insane or sick. And what I do inside my YouTube channel, that's my private business. You so-called, nosy backers, whatever, I really don't care because there are a hell of a lot of people out there doing their own stuff to keep them sane and to keep them happy. That's great. And as far as I'm concerned, I haven't broken any laws. But if you're going to keep on dictating to me and wanting and thinking you can teach me a lesson, then we are going to have an all-out war. That's correct. Because as far as I'm concerned, the local Maori doesn't own me. Hell no. They don't have any legal rights to this property here inside at this address. They don't have a title either. That's correct. And, well, as far as I'm concerned, who owns the YouTube channel that I'm running? Legally, it would have to be you, but, I mean, who owns the company as well? Well, under my names, I say, it has to be you. That's correct. And not some, I don't know, some idiot. Who what? Who paddled from a waka somewhere. That's great. Who came from a no man's land. And according to, of course, the company registry, well, you own the whole lot. That's great. But as for these, door knockers, I don't know, nosy parkers, eavesdroppers, that's great, spies, you know what? They should go and create something unique for their own people. Something that instead of me, hearing the same jingle, here we go again. Here comes the is it the Haka people, honeyman? Yeah, here they come. That's great. Man, you guys are a sight for sore eyes. To be honest, I just laugh every time. That's great. Oh my God. Oh, here they come again. That's great. Here comes this crowd. Where are they heading to, honeyman? Is it Jailbird or down the other way? Get it? Yeah, well, I mean, they'd obviously be making fun of you, but I mean, if they don't contribute any money of any sort, whether it be a check of $1,000, $500, you know what? I don't need it. That's right. So why do you need to come into my YouTube channel if you ain't going to pay me any money or give me any donations? Why do you even need to, read my comments if you're not part of my kingdom? Why do you need to dictate to it? Hell, you don't need to go there. You own your own intellectual property. You got your own companies. You got your own people. So why enter? That's correct. Why do you have to be a menace, people, in this country? That's correct. Why? Who gives you the right to dictate to other people's companies and other people's intellectual properties? Who gives you that right? I don't even want to say anything because at the courts, it'll be like, well, let's see the documents. Well, obviously, you own the intellectual property. You own the play. You own the ideas, but it looks like they've been stealing and copying and counterfeiting it. And what they wanted to do was to take ownership of your ideas. That's correct. And so if they dictate it to you, they made it look like, oh, well, we own the ideas. Oh, really? So I guess that's why you got the lawyer to do what he did. My God, these people are devious. They should be taught a lesson. They need to be taught a lesson. That's great. I wonder who's going to teach them a lesson. Will it be the American Indians? Well, I could easily persuade them. Or I could easily persuade another group of people to come and deal to them. That's great. Because after all, well, I don't think that the Samoans have got the X factor. Obviously not. They don't have the X factor because, hey, if I was born in this country, let's just say as an illustration, that I was a New Zealand born, rather than a Samoan born or a German Samoan or a German born or any other. Do you know what I would be telling every other Maori in this country? Every other indigenous person in this country? Who think they own this country because they sign a document? I'm going to say, no, I'm sorry. You don't own this country. You don't own, not one piece, not one piece. The only stuff you own in this country is the property and whatever that's got legally your names on it. Remember, I'm talking it from a point of view of a Pākehā. That's correct. They only accept people that own properties legally under their name. Your treaty document is, as far as I'm concerned, it's a document that isn't part of the Constitution of New Zealand, but is revocable, meaning it could be reversed, and it could easily be, abolished and revoked. So what does that mean? It means you gave your powers to the white man in this country, or let's say to the English. You gave away your power. So if I was New Zealand born in this country, I would have thought, I would have gone and done a referendum to revoke your treaty document. That's correct. Because I know what it means to be New Zealand born. And when you're born in this country, you don't own this country anymore. Because I'm part of this country. And if my intellectual property was born in this country, even that, you don't own it. Because the heart and the soul of my intellectual property doesn't belong in this country. It belongs somewhere else. That's correct. Thank goodness, all right? This country doesn't deserve this person here. But don't you ever dare use my title or ever use my logo. Please don't even go there. Because I know who I am. I'm a natural master. And that is part of my intellectual property. Everything, and because if you came here to study me and to steal from me on my digital devices and damage and wreck stuff, it means that you were wanting to take ownership of everything that I own and anything that I produced. Man, your people deserve the death penalty and you deserve nothing for that purpose and that reason because you're so fucking devious. That's correct. How you want to steal my throne? You want to steal my crown? You want to steal my monarch? You want to steal my so-called logo? And even my title? My God, I don't know where these people came from, but you people, you are worse than the American Indians and you don't deserve nothing. You deserve to be taught a lesson and to be put down, but I need to teach you a lesson. That's correct. Because you got no respect and you are the worst group of indigenous people, Aborigines on the face of the earth and in the South Pacific. And I mean it. This is why your people couldn't gain full independence in this country because you are so fucking lazy, despicable, and a bunch of whores. You are just of the English, who are racist and are arrogant in this country. Fight any of you. Even if I have to go to court to tell the white man who is racist, who's in partnership with a brown man who should have been taught a lesson a long time ago and should have been told, hang on a second, you're overstepping, that's correct. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is on the restraining order. As a white person, but as a noble, you don't overstep me unless you want to lose your head and lose everything you got in this country. You understood? You're going to lose everything. You're going to lose lives. If you want to go up against me, I will go to war with you, but you will lose all your people. And you will lose your privileges. And in fact, they should be taken away. All the ministers and the elite's privileges that you apply in the system should be taken away. And I will be taking it away on my restraining order when it comes to this noble. You don't overstep. And you should have learned that lesson by now. Every time I fucking preach to you, New Zealand, but oh no, you're so fucking arrogant and ignorant, and for that reason, you deserve what you get. Whether it be from the weather, from the gods, or even from your own people, you deserve what you get for what you sow. That is correct. And I don't give a damn about your treaty partnership. You can shove it. But you will not dictate to me. And you will not tell me how to run my church TV. You got so many people in this country that you could actually dictate to. That you got more right to dictate to. But you choose me. That's correct for some odd reason. Those ministers and the government of New Zealand seem to have, an obsession that dictate to you, that tell me and my family how to run our life in your country. We've been here 40 years. But you will not dictate to me anymore. Well, there is going to be bloodshed. There's going to be bloodshed. And the ministers, my God, you had better teach these people to fucking stop their arbitrary dictatorships, and especially the Maoris, the Aborigines, who should be living on their sacred what? Maoris reservations. Land reservations. They've gotten so greedy, all right? And despicable. But you ain't gonna be... You're not going to dictate to people that are non-Maoris, but if you ever have sex with a Pākehā, or even your own people, to ever dictate to people like me, I will kill you personally. I will give you the death penalty. I will kill every one of you, that's correct. Because that's what you deserve. You got no respect for people that wear a crown. And for nobles like me, that's correct, we're rare. But we don't need rubbish like you from your people. We do not need rubbish from any Pākehā either. Who have sex to get back at somebody or to control people like me. You don't go there. You're asking for the death penalty. And you're asking for blood, aren't you? You want to taste blood? Do you think you can handle, do you think you can handle, seeing bloodbath? Do you think you can handle the death when you can't even handle the weather? When you can't even handle Cyclone Gabriel? And you got the nerve to think you can handle? That's right. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle Cyclone Gabriel. What makes you think that you can handle World War III? If it came in the form of Nazi soldiers ready to take you out. Are you ready? Can you handle it? No, you couldn't handle it. That's why they ought to tell them to go to their land reservations and apply that savages and rubbish there! Right there! Not inside my so-called flat. And not even to me! You all have a nice week, but this looks like it's going to get really ugly. And that's only because they're the ones that are causing the pain in the butt, that are dictating when they know damn well they shouldn't dictate. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.